Gore.
Start from the top. Give
Grogor.
the recap. Give the recap, Hank.
Okay.
Do you need me to do it, Frank?
No, the last time you guys decided not to build a boat, and instead went out into the jungle following a pair of tracks. And you came upon what could best be described as a temple with big lizardman presence, big seraphim presence. Amongst the seraphim in there was a big Proxigor who introduced himself as Grugor, and then a bunch of like little chameleon snakes, one of which was spying on you and accompanied you on this current endeavor, Taewon. It's T-A apostrophe U-A-N.
So, Grogor is the Proxigor.
Is it Grugor or Grogor? Because I've heard it both ways now.
G-R-O-U-G-O-R.
And the snake was
Got it.
Taewon.
Tewa. T-E-Y-W-A.
T-A
Oh.
T-A apostrophe U-N-N. Taewon. Taewon and Grugor. I don't know. We'll agree on a name. Alright, let's see.
Check the VOD.
Check the box.
stop
Let
the count.
you. Grogor agreed to let Taewon lead you back towards Anvilgrove, but first you needed to assist him with avenging his hunt pack. And led you, he led your group, accompanied with Taewon, to the last location of his hunt pack. And upon where we ended, you were all in like thick brush, looking out on this grove with a rancid-looking nurgle tree sitting in the grove. And at that point in time, Grogor was like, "Okay, this is where it is. This is the hunt." You saw when you got here a number of like skulls on the ground, like almost reptilian skulls. Looked like they had all their flesh and such melted off of them or decayed off of them, which I mean, would suggest that this would happen a long time ago. But outside of that, that's where we left off. I'm gonna move you over to the map. I worked very hard on.
Oh, we got zones.
Zones.
We got tokens. Look at Sturdy Bark.
I can't see Sturdy Bark. Oh, I see
He's
Sturdy Bark.
he's so big.
Look at me. I'm beautiful.
Where's Razor?
She's in the.
Does Razor get a token?
I don't know.
Razor's a freaking wallet. I don't know if he actually. I think
He's
he
got
has to
he's got stat block, right?
You have to train your pets for him to actually be pretty powerful. And we haven't really done that, so.
Okay.
That's a normal thing. Don't worry about it for now.
I'm going to. So that you all see the zones, your set of tokens in the upper left, and nothing else, correct?
Yeah, and we cannot control our tokens.
Okay, I have to set that. You know, there was something I was forgetting to set, and that was I was setting all this shit up.
What is it doing? Does not good?
Control I.
It's fine. We're all at the same table. We can pick up and move things as needed.
All our souls are combined. So
It's true.
Our souls are fine.
yeah. What? Oh, okay. So like
So
missionaries.
this is something that I didn't really know what to go with. The size of Bagoosh and Sturdy Bar. I assume with how your characters are, being small like that just won't do. I mean,
No.
that seems a bit, yeah, that seems a bit,
Are these
it
like
just
rotated?
Do the squares matter?
No. All that matters is the zone. If you're
So,
standing, yeah, if you're standing here, it's the same as standing here. It's the same as standing here. It's the same as standing here.
which is why technically the size of the token doesn't really matter for
Right.
combat purposes.
It's for
That makes
flavor.
sense. Yes, yes, yes.
You, you are, yeah, well, you Sturdy Bar because you and Bagoosh, like, you can't like straddle the zones per se.
Right.
You have to choose one or the other. So like if you're here, we're gonna go with you're more in zone one, so you're zone one.
Gotcha.
If you're
Yeah.
here, you're more in zone two, you're zone two.
But isn't the exact same if you're standing here as if you're standing over here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Movement is to move between zones, not you
But,
can
but
move freely within your
Yeah.
zone.
So
the point is that Sturdy Bar can't be here
right.
in the center
What?
of all of these zones. Be like, I can hit everything.
Yeah.
I'm straddling 3 different zones. It would have to be you choose one zone or the other, which only matters for for bigger size tokens. But for the sake of like representing how large your characters are, I think
I
having
appreciate
larger
it.
tokens is fine.
I think also best practice is like make it super clear what zone you're in rather than
Yeah,
being near a border.
this doesn't like we said, it doesn't really matter where you're standing.
Hmm.
Um, you can hit everything because it seems like you're fucking presence. Okay. So we never did this because it didn't matter last time. Where are all of you lined up? I'm going to say,
And what?
like, lined up as
Me
in
and
you're
Grogu are in
lined up.
front.
I'm going
Yes,
to
everyone.
assume that Grogor's up front because he was leading you here, and Taiwan, as we stated, was riding on your shoulder. So I'm going to represent both of them on the same token in these spaces here. So the rest of you put yourselves in zone 5. So,
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'm actually fine
I'm
with it.
sneaking in the back.
so we will start this. And I have, yeah, we'll start this. We'll start this. So as you come up to this clearing, Grogor holds up his fist and he crouches down to hide what amount of himself he can hide under this thick brush. And he kind of motions some of you up to the front, and then he points out, and he says, "There." And as you peek through the brush, you can make out this large, pus-ridden, fungus-infected tree way in the distance of this grove that's just got these tendrils, almost tentacle-like things that are jutting into the ground, and you can see them kind of moving out, spreading out towards the rest of the forest from the center of the grove. Grogor says, "Tree for little things." And then Taiwan like perks up and starts looking around, and then he kind of brings himself down to where you'd imagine Grogor's ear would be, and then he says, "Tree, tree, tree."
I turn.
He's pointing at the tree. He's just pointing at the tree over and over again. Just tree, tree, tree.
I'm gonna say, Gogor, do you know how to fight these things at all? Like, are their weakness, their strengths? Are they gonna explode? Are they gonna spit on us? Do you know anything?
He looks back at you and he says, don't get spit.
Okay.
He, like, leans down, picks up a skull, and he says, spit. Ox flesh. And then he kind of throws it down.
Got it.
You can all kind of tell he looks very distraught just looking out at you. And he kind of moves back a bit into the brush that you're in, and then he kind of has like a ponderous face on. He's like, should be little things. Don't spit.
Do I guess him out?
He looks at you almost quizzically. Asks.
What zone do we think they're in? Should I just guess? Actually, I can only reach to it.
So, Frankie, the little things that you described last time, the horned bulbous creatures dancing around, those that we're reckoning that we didn't actually see those.
Oh no. You saw them and then they kind of started dancing around the tree.
Uh-huh.
From what you've seen, they kind of like disappeared.
I understand. Okay. And then the large flies in the canopy, are they also missing, or are they still flying about in the canopy?
Oh, the large flies are there.
Okay.
Okay, but they're all in the zone where the tree is, right?
That's the last time you saw them. Yes.
Well, I may as well if it's happening. Right? No one's in zone 1 or 2, right? So
That you can see.
I guess I just shell the area indiscriminately, right?
Ah, yes, the war crime special.
I mean, they're not people.
That's true. Alright, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll do it in zone 1.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see if I remember what my role is. I'm supposed to do that. My Minecrafting, as opposed to my Minecrafting, it's their body fortitude.
Against their body fortitude. Okay. What type of damage is it? What did you say?
Okay. It's deadly blast of poison scales. So maybe it doesn't do anything.
So you do this in zone 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because it's not fun.
As you fire off your what is it called? It's
Roar Grungni.
yes. As you fire off your roar from you hear a very almost eerie silence. Then suddenly you hear this almost like playful like laughter ring out from this tree here. And shortly after hearing this laughter, you can see these like leaves rustling up in the tree. And after a few seconds, you just see this almost like ball just fall to the ground from the tree. And then that ball just kind of stands up. And then you see this little bulbous horned creature that's just peering around, looking around, and then looks in your direction where this stream of mist and these smokes are coming from. And he then goes over to the tree and like knocks on it. You hear a bunch more like laughter, and then you just see a couple of them just kind of move the leaves and branches aside, and they start looking in your general direction. All of you can tell when they touch these branches that this tree does not look good unless they touch the leaves or the branches. It goes from being this vibrant looking tree to like just the slightest touch from these things, and it just looks like it's withering and starting to rot. Right as you take note, or right as you see this. And just like that, as they peer through the trees, they just let out this almost ear-piercing, it's not so much a scream as it is like a look, it's playmates type of thing. They just shout like friends, and then suddenly you all notice from this rustling from this tree over here, and you see a somewhat similar sight of just a bunch of other ones just peering out of this tree.
Okay, so I guess they're reinforced.
And then why isn't it working? You see a bunch more just falling out of trees all around.
You're welcome, team.
And they all just kind of fall out of the trees, start looking in your general direction, and then they just all start screaming and almost what you can tell just start barreling towards you. I'm gonna do the internal.
Are any of us hidden?
Yes. So those of you who, let's put it like this: if your goal is to be hidden and not be standing up in the front here, I would say you would be hidden.
Cool, I'll do that.
Is not hidden. Sturdy Bark, you're not hidden, and Magoosh, you're definitely not hidden because of your size.
He just holds a tiny branch in front of his face. He's hidden.
Actually, I would give it to Sturdy Bark to be hidden.
Legitimately,
I would give it to you for being hidden. Now I think about it.
I'm with my boy, Rogor.
For anyone else who wants to be hidden,
Probably not me. I've already been exposed.
yeah, I was gonna say if your intention was to be hidden, you are no longer hidden.
That's okay. It didn't do anything for me anyway.
But Loris, if you wish to have been hidden, then that's something you are allowed to do.
I don't think so. I'm not much for sneaking around.
Yeah, if you're not doing a ranged attack, it's not super handy. But, I mean, you technically can do it in melee. It makes their defense poor. Oh, I'm a 5 now, by the way. I switched my initiative.
We don't roll it, right? It's whatever the stat is.
Yep. But I think before we were all like different numbers. And I broke it.
Is it your body?
Uh,
No,
it's a combination of things.
it's right next to your metal melee initiative toughness thingy.
It's not updating.
I will type it in.
I don't know why Shade's name is coming from here and no one else's, but
I wrote it in.
okay.
Apparently, if you click on the token, there's an option to do it.
There you go.
Equal to your mind plus your level of training and awareness and reflexes. I'm not sure why mine is showing 0 on my player cards. Oh no, that's bonuses.
You can put it in.
It's 7. I forgot. I forgot there's a bonuses area. Let's go into like 8 times.
Okay.
Frank, where's that jukebox?
Let's go. Maybe not.
No, it's paused.
I hear it. The fuck
Oh,
is
it does
going
say
on?
it's moving. That's weird.
For me, it says it's at 8:58 out of 10 and it has time.
If I crank my volume to full, I don't hear it.
There we go. I hear it now.
Yeah, now I hear it.
Okay. So here's how the nerdlings work. The nerdlings attack and act in their groups through the schedule. There's 4 nerdlings in each zone. 1, 2, and 3. They all move and attack according to their initiatives on you. So 4.2 is zone 2, 4.1 is zone 1, 4 is zone 3.
You're going to want to move 4.1. If you hover over them in the initiative order, you can see the yellow box around them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then
Let's do
one
this.
thing that might save us headache later is
I'm gonna put the dots in.
exactly, yeah. I was like color dots and then name them, yeah. Because you're going to end up potentially accidentally deleting the one that has the initiative order, and then they go off the initiative order. So
We're just gonna have them. We're just gonna give them a like a
Little circle.
yeah, like a circle, like the skull and crossbones and whatnot. So not fucked up.
or the big X.
And just to confirm, I'm guessing nothing happened to the ones in zone 1.
Oh no, they like inhaled that shit and they loved it.
Oh, they loved it. Oh, okay.
It did call you friend.
Wait, so they're gonna let us pass, right?
No.
We cannot allow this to pass.
Um. This looks. Yeah, this is right. Okay. So you see these 3 packs of nerdlings in front of you. They're all starting to almost barrel towards you as you stand. Arms reached out, almost like they want to hug you, like they're seeing a dear old relative. They just want to welcome you into their embrace. And you see the tree on the other side of the grove. Upon seeing the nerdlings drop down, Groger says, you hear Groger let out a roar, and then he says, finally the hunt. And he gets his maul up and gets ready to just take on these nerdlings as they come at him. He assumes a ready stance. With that, you can start your initiatives, or you can start your turns.
That's you, Shade.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna take aim at one of these things in zone 1 and shoot it. So, do I select which one? Does it matter?
No, you can just shoot one.
Okay, just shoot one. Let's see. How good is it?
I think you gotta know their defenses.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What's
Yeah.
the defense?
So their defenses are average.
Average. And my accuracy is great, so it's 2, I think.
Great versus.
I think it's 4 when it's even.
Yep, so it should be 4. That's right. Pull it up. Yep.
Rip. So, 2. Damage bonus. Alright, so it's 6 damage. they're still alive, I shred 2 armor.
Down, you said?
Yeah.
So you let loose your shot. And your aim is true. You shoot one of these little things in what you could describe as its chest. It's pretty much all chest. And it just falls to the ground. When it falls to the ground, the other Nurglings look like they just stop moving, all of them, and just stare over at it. And then the Nurgling that just fell to the ground just suddenly starts to just puff up. And then it continues to get bigger and swell over the course of a couple seconds, and then it just explodes. From this explosion, you see just thick mucus, almost spore-like particles that just erupt into the air, and just sludge just come out of its now corpse. Upon seeing this, all the other Nurglings just stop, look at it, then look back in your general direction, look back at it again, and then they just let out a yeah as they all just start making their way towards you.
Okay.
This time, they're no longer reaching out in a hug. They're now brandishing what, like, awkwardly sized claws, and one of them even reaches for their horn and, like, rips it off and now holding it in its hand. They are now very clearly angry.
Alright. Well, we're gonna do it again. Same zone. And I used 2 focus points. So, same high damage. 6 damage.
Same result. Falls to the ground, erupts in pus into spores.
Alright, that's it. For me.
Sturdy arm.
Okay. See here. I'm going to attempt to attack one of these enemies. Right? Because with one zone I can reach, right?
If you're in a range, you can move. Your movement, you can move 1 zone, no problem. No matter what.
I think has reach because I have like a polearm.
And if they're popping, then that's smart.
That's cleaving. Okay.
You might want to use them when you pop.
I might want to use the what?
Well, they explode when they die, right? If you're right next to the perfect.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Those spores, use a tree, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm moving into this area. I am good at melee and average at accuracy. So, what do you...
I think it's 3 because you're 1 up on them, right?
You're 1 up.
So my thing is 3. I have no melee bonus. Okay. So...
What is cleaving?
You can hit... I knew this answer.
I think if I hit something, I can either do... I think if I hit something, I can do 1 damage to something, another targeting myself.
Each result of 6 on your attack roll deals 1 damage to all enemies within close range.
Holy shit.
Okay.
So if you want to use a
I want
focus
to use the
point...
focus on 2 sixes, yeah.
Okay. Just everything in 1. So...
Yeah, so everything here, like this guy takes 4 damage, and then this guy takes 2 damage.
You could also use the focus to have another success, though.
No, I'd rather have the cleaver. Because I get to attack again, right? Because the...
Yeah, I don't have much health they have. I know 6
Yeah.
kills them, right?
I think they both have, yeah.
They die? Okay.
So, you come in, you take your great sight, and you just slice these guys in half.
I'm doing it.
When they fall and die, both erupt just like the other ones did. You suffer 2 damage.
Is it reduced by anything?
No. You
Okay.
just suffer 2 damage.
Gotcha.
You also have to give me a body 4-1, 4-1 body fortitude test.
42, right? Alright, 4-1. 42. 2 successes.
You're good.
Alright, so let me just take
In
the
that
damage.
moment, upon getting this like sludge and this mucus that just spatters on you from this closest one, you feel like it's just trying to seep into your bark, and it just can't quite find an easy way through your metal infused bark. It's almost like it's alive. It's just like moving around.
Gotcha.
You manage to shake what amount of it you can off, and you begin feeling discomfort.
Sounds good.
I believe you have another action.
I do. I'm going to, can I move and attack?
It's your turn. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think you can move to.
Okay.
Can you spend a medal to move?
I don't think you can spend a medal to move. I don't think you can spend a medal to move and attack. No.
Okay. I will just chill here, I think.
Okay.
So I'm done.
Alright, Joe, you're done.
So the tree is unaware of me, right? Or do you need me to roll about it?
Yeah, the tree's unaware.
Cool. I'm gonna shoot it with my bow. So its defense is poor. So it's DN2. And that is 1, 2, 3, all 5 successes. So it's gonna be 12 damage.
You're saying you're reducing its defense.
Yeah. And I ignore armor because of my backstab trait. And I double the damage. Or wait.
How much?
12 damage ignoring armor. Just aim for whatever's pulsing inside of one of its maws and shoot it. And then I'm gonna shoot it again. What is my accuracy is good.
Its defense is average.
Okay, so now it's a DC of 3.
You're 1 up at 3.
Okay, cool. So rolling against a 3. Submit. Focus point moves that 2 up to a 3, making it 4 successes for 5 damage. But I am not ignoring armor this time. And then Joe's just gonna like run to another tree. But otherwise, that's my turn.
These nerdlings in zone 3, they just watch their buddies die. So they just kind of charge over into zone 1 towards Sturdy Bark. And then they just kind of, as they're running towards you, one jumps on the other's shoulders, then another one jumps on that one's shoulders, and the fourth one just crawls up this now, like, ladder that they've made. They're still pitifully small compared to you, like, they don't even come to your knee. But then they all just kind of, like, run up to you, and just start, like, chewing on your, like, neck.
Okay.
And they will roll. They're average. What's your defense?
My defense is, wait, there's more than one in range of me, right?
There are 4 in range.
Okay, sorry. My defense, I get +1 defense, so my defense should be great right now. Because there were 2 or more targets in my range when I started my turn, so I get insult.
I like that, because now you're taking advantage of the stupid rule that they have. I like that. Okay. Cool, so you're great, they're average. So they need
5.
5s to do anything. They get an additional... So they would get 2 sixes, so that's 2 successes there for them. So they're going to deal 3 damage to you. It
Okay.
doesn't pierce armor or anything like that, so...
I will take 0 then.
Cool. Give me a body fortitude. Give me a 40... Oh wait, no,
4 or
sorry.
1.
No, you take damage. You're
Yep,
good.
yeah.
These guys are dead. These guys over here.
The blue squad.
They come on and pile in over here on Gogor. And they, as they come in, you just hear them saying, "Kill the big one! Make join his friends!" As, they try and do the same thing. And they get 1, they get 2. Kroger's natural armor is absurd, so he just kind of looks at them as they start nibbling on him. And you hear him let out, like, a hearty, like, laugh as they are gnawing on his, his leg. And then you can kind of hear him say after this laugh, "Small Greek, where's bigger demons?" And with that, Taiwan looks down as Gorgor says this, takes out his little blowpipe, and then he just kind of puts a dart in it, puts another dart in it, and then he just shoots. Just puts it in his mouth and shoots it. He'll get 1.
Hopefully say what?
Cool. Alright. They're up. Or they're done. Taiwan's done. Oh, who's your gun?
Wait, you have a mallet?
No, it's a flamberge.
In his picture.
Okay.
Where is that?
The flat side.
What's
Oh, you know,
the
I forgot to put this thing.
It should be under your weapons category, Ellie.
what's this one at the end? It's
They are average.
They are average.
and I am great.
So then you get 2.
It's 2.
Yeah, 2s.
This is
Ooh. How much damage is this, huh?
8.
yeah, that's 7, I think.
It's 6 plus 1, but you can crank 1 up. So it's
Oh.
6. Yes.
Okay. You kind of bring your flamberge down, and then just strike across, and just cut these 4 boys in half. They all like the top half slides off the sword, the bottom half just kind of falls to the ground, and then they just explode. Everyone in Zone 5 will take 4 damage.
So that goes straight to your toughness, right?
Yeah, it goes straight to your toughness.
Okay.
I take 0.
Why?
Armor, baby.
Oh, does
I thought this ignored armor.
Armor
It
doesn't
ignores
increase
armor. It ignores armor.
okay?
Oh, what happened to plus 3 bar?
That was
If
when
you-
he was attacked.
Yeah,
like,
when I was
not
attacked.
the
Pretty Mark
explosion.
wasn't there for the explosion.
Yeah, he was there for the 2 exploding earlier.
So sorry. They two things. When they die, they explode. That ignores armor. And when they attack you, if they hit you, you have to make a fortitude check.
I think we're gonna have to do it here too.
Oh yeah, you have to do it here too.
I think it's
What's
gonna
the
do
difficulty?
damage for us.
Difficulty's a 4-1, body 4.
I did buff this.
Everyone. Seems like everyone's good. Here,
We're powerful.
let me do.
Tommy, I'm so proud with your 1 die. Wait, no, you had plenty of dice. Hold on. Hold on. 1 success. Never mind. You got a whole bunch for it.
Yeah, no one has 1 body in this party.
Yeah.
We're just gonna drop dead.
No. Okay, Tay1's good.
Oh no.
I was gonna say, how many friends am I gonna have to bury Frank?
Hopefully none. Hopefully
Actually,
none.
Tay1 did take 4 damage. Does he have 4 health?
Tay1 is looking really bad.
Guys, we gotta retreat.
Wow, we have a healer!
I'm not gonna heal him. I just absorbed 4 souls.
Very
True.
nice.
I'm about to heal this man.
If I were to like taste this, do I have to make any fort save?
I don't think it's a problem for you, I'll be
You
honest.
will have to make a fort save.
Okay.
Does he get a buff if he succeeds?
You know, you could do that as a free act. Wait, no, yeah, you took 1 turn. You could spend a metal to do that. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything else in my life. Describe flavor.
Okay, so I'm assuming you've eaten rotten eggs.
Yes.
I'm assuming you've eaten curdled milk, or no, eaten. Let's say eaten curdled milk. Yeah. Okay. And I'm assuming you've eaten like rotten, right?
All the time.
It's like all of those combined, but it's like a magnitude like 7. It is like it is nowhere near close enough to making you like retch, but this just doesn't taste good.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, very strong flavor, but unoriginal.
Body.
Very powerful body, terrible head.
Loris.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to Taiwan and say, come here, Taiwan, and slam dunk the 4 souls into him to heal him for 4.
He's looking pretty good.
And then I'm gonna spend my metal, and I'm going to move here and swing once. Or whatever, spend whatever that you get to extra turn, yeah. They're average, you say?
They're average.
So it's 6 plus 1, because I'm gonna spend the focus, so 7.
7, eh? You bring your hook down.
Oh, this
Skewer
is
1.
bad.
So these are the guys that are built up in your tower. They're just gnawing at Mark's like, oh, you definitely come out of the forest, you take your hook, you just bring it straight on down. Like you're baiting a hook. And you just take them down 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 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 boom. And they all just fall. And then they explode. And then the 2 of you will take 4 damage.
Okay, and I have 4 more souls.
And then the 2 of you will also take a body 42 check.
I mean,
Body forward.
damage, so you are wounded.
That's fine. I can remove wounds. Does the remainder carry over, Frank, or no? Like if I'm at 3 out of 7 and I take 4, do I go to 7 with a wound, or do I go to 6 with a
No,
wound?
that's fine. Trail's right.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go to 7, and I'm gonna give myself a wound.
I think if it goes like really negative, you can make it get a major wound or severe wound or something.
Yeah, but this will go. This is and then do a body or
Body 4-1, okay. 4 is 2, you said, right?
Yep.
If your toughness is reduced to 0, any remaining damage is converted to wounds. If you are at 0 toughness and suffer damage is dealt as wounds. Characters can suffer 3 types of wounds. Minor wound, if your toughness is 0 and you suffer 1 damage from a single source, you take a minor wound. A minor wound fills up one space on the wound track. And then serious is if your toughness is 0 and you suffer 2 to 4. And then deadly is if your toughness is 0 and you suffer 5. And then
Take a wound when you go to 0, or just when you go below 0?
that's the part that's not super clear. Yeah, any if your toughness is reduced to 0, any remaining damage is converted to wounds.
yeah. So if you go over by 1, it's a single wound. If you go over by 2, it's a serious wound. If you only went over by 1,
Yeah.
you know, just and then Chris, are you here?
I am, sir.
Take 4 damage because Tommy killed the 4 nerdlings in your space,
Okay.
and then give me a 4-1 body roll.
Alright, I got 1 success.
You're good.
I'm hurting.
It is Krogor's turn.
Krogor has 2 initiative.
He is extremely slow.
He's a big boy.
That's my boy.
This man's a fucking tank. He kind of picks up Taewon off his shoulder, puts him down and pats him on the head, and then he hefts his maw and or his maul, and he just goes into 2, and then he takes another, and then he spends the metal to go into 4. When he gets into 3, he like gets down low, almost like gets on all 4s, and then he like looks at the tree and lets out a extremely loud pull. Almost as if to accept the challenge, you see the tree start to move in a very, what you describe as a very unnatural way. It's almost like something's moving under the bark, almost like it's pulsating, and the various flies that are flying overhead just kind of come down, and they land in the tree and almost like try and weasel on into it. They try and like find their way into this tree. And then shortly after, you see from this, if you can see on the token, there's like this weird closed door, like this gaping maw in it.
Mm-hmm.
You see this like faint green glow start emanating from this hole. And then you see a very strange sight. I'm going to post a picture of what it is on the Discord. You see this thing just kind of walk out of this tree.
What the fuck is this?
Is this?
Okay.
And then let me show him. There you go. He's small. Not like big and threatening. So you see this thing like just walk out of this tree. And then this giant mouth that's just kind of hanging over its shoulder. It just opens, and then you hear this very loud, almost booming voice come out from it. And it just says, "We appear to have guests. Very, very good. Very good indeed. We have plenty of names ill-listed, tribal subjects for the plagues. Come, come," as he starts writing down on the scroll that he's got in front of him. And then you see suddenly just roots almost shoot out of the ground all around Grover. And then from these roots, they just kind of shoot out and then lay flat at the ground, on the ground again, and then a weird green light, almost like it was emanating from the tree, emanates from each of these. And then each root just kind of cracks open. And then from them, you see these pretty much the same size as this thing that was just yelling at you.
Yeah.
You see these what are obviously demons pop out of each of these roots, almost as if they're like being birthed by the tree. These guys look like this.
Okay.
And they all just kind of take up these what look like rusted metal weapons, and they just kind of raise them. One of them is just kind of like wafting in his hand, and he's kind of like swaying it in the air. And then you see the guy with the quill say, "Yes, yes, bring me the last of this. His flesh will augment the plagues and tear this realm apart. All for the Rotfather, all for the Rotfather," as they all just kind of start cheering, and almost like singing as they each start to get closer to Grover after this was stated. I'm gonna add these lads to the initiative. These guys act on it. Cool.
Wait, Alex, are you here?
Yep.
So, when I went past 0, was my health bounce back up to 7, or my, like... So what happened?
It's as if you were at 0, and the negative amount determines the severity of the wound you get.
Yeah, but what about me now?
You're still at 0.
Okay, got it. But, like, I can move and still do shit, right? Like, I'm not...
Yeah,
Okay.
you're not dead.
Yep.
You get a full
Until whenever you take damage, that damage is subtracted from your current toughness. If your toughness is reduced to 0, you begin to suffer wounds instead. Until you recover some of your toughness, all damage you suffer is dealt as wounds. Recovering toughness is explained on page 154.
Yeah, okay. I just wasn't sure if it, like, resets up to 7, you go back down, resets up
No, the cool thing is, so minor wound is 1 damage while you're at 0, and that's 1 wound. A serious wound is anywhere from 2 to 4 damage while you're at 0, which is 2 wounds, and then 5 or more while you're at 0 is deadly, which is 3. So it's not like 2 damage is 2, 3 damage is 3, 4 damage is 4. It's 1 is 1, 2 to 4 is 2, 5 and more is 3.
When these guys erupt out, you can see that they're kind of covered in flies. And they all start, as I said, walking towards Grover. With that, you see the tree kind of stop pulsing. And you actually see part of it almost like start growing. So like the top, I guess we call it a bulb. Like this core mound on the highest part of it starts like glowing a very eerie yellow. And with that, it'll be the top of the record. This too is marking what round is.
Yep.
So,
2.
there's a 2 in the chat.
Oh, in the chat. I'm sorry. Oops. I just put this in there. Oops. I clicked the bookmark on accident. Okay. I will move to zone 2. Just so there.
Okay.
And then I will
I was
attack.
about to ask you to go move with us.
No, we can't move. I just wanted to move the 4 because I was like, oh yeah, the 4. I forgot about that.
Uproot and run.
Nice.
And I will attack the one in the northeast part of zone 3. I am great accuracy. What is his defense?
You're shooting him?
Yeah.
He's great.
He's great. Holy shit. Okay.
It's really hard to see him with like these. It's really hard to get an accurate shot with these like this massive spy supporters flying around him.
Ah.
Like you wish these things weren't so readily here. It seems like it's really interfering with your shot.
And it's nothing that the lenses will bypass.
No. This is just treated as the defenses.
It's actually like a physical thing. Alright, so I'm gonna use 1 focus point to get 3 successes.
Yep. So you deal 3 damage?
4.
4? Okay. Increased. So. Are you piercing armor?
No, I don't have any 6s, and I don't think I'm going to.
How armored do those boyos look?
They have like very rudimentary looking like rusted scraps of armor. Doesn't really look like it's technically. They don't look like they're terribly armored.
What about Big Mouth Lad? Is he kind of armored?
Big Mouth Lad? Yeah, he looks like he's got a bit more armor on him.
Okay.
You take a shot, and it definitely lands, but this thing just kind of pays you no mind as it just starts to get closer and closer to you.
Okay. Well, take another shot. Use that focus. Oh well. Oh no, I can use 1 to get 2 successes instead of.
Yep, so you get 2 successes then?
So it'll be 3, yeah.
Okay. This time when you shoot it, it seems like your shot just manages to get it right where it hurts. This thing, as it's walking forward, it just kind of slumps down on one knee, and it seems like it gets on its second and still tries to almost be walking towards you over on its knees, and then it just collapses and almost decays right in front of you.
Nice. That's my turn.
It's time for the Herald. as you see him writing this, you see his scroll start to glow a very faint yellow that slowly gets much more vibrant as he continues to write. As he did this. Okay. Actions. He, upon writing this down, his scroll fully illuminates, and you can see the tree light up behind you. And on this pustule, this oval that was started to glow before, you see this faint light shine from it towards Grogu. And upon this light catching Rogor on the scales, he lets out a scream. Those of you who are close to him, within one zone of him, so that would be Shadel, Sturdy Bark, Norris, you can see that on his face, some of his scales are just almost like rotting away. As like blood starts to seep down and mix with this like rotting scales and turn to very, very unnatural looking color of body fluid of that. He upon this happening to him, he hefts his maul up as he like puts his guard up as these plague bearers start looming down on him. But he looks particularly hurt. Upon this spell being cast, the Scrivener looks out and says, "Very good, very good. That could rot away the scales of Tithonium. Couldn't imagine what it would do to those people down at that horrible city." As this, he just kind of starts jotting down rapidly on his scroll. Scrivener, you're up.
Okay. I am enraged that my friend Grover has been attacked, so I'm going to move into Zone 3, and I will be performing the cleave. So, what is the defense on these boys? Huh?
Their defense against melee is good.
What did you say? Good?
They're good. Yep.
Okay. So I'm good, so it's force?
Yes.
Okay. So 4. I had 3 successes, but I got. Yeah, so I got. I'm gonna use a focus point to bump it up to 4 successes, and I cleave 2 damage.
Cleave 2 damage.
Yeah, so I'm cleaving. Everything in the area is taking 2, and then this guy is taking 4, 5, I think? Right? Because I got 4 successes plus 1 extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this dude's taking 5. Everyone else is taking 2.
That guy is fucking dead.
Okay.
You cut that man down.
And so these 3 all took 2, and I am going to go ahead and shoot them.
I really like imagining this like giant tree just with a reaping scythe just tearing through things.
Alright, well, I got 3 successes here, but I got no focus. So this guy takes 3 damage. And no one cleaves. No one cleaves because I got no 6s.
That guy's 4.
He takes 4, right?
Takes 4.
Oh, sorry, 4, excuse me, because the extra damage.
Wouldn't it be 5? Because you can bump the 3 to a 4?
He spent his focus
He
already.
already spent
Oh, it focuses once per turn. I always forget that.
4, he's up.
4 is up? Okay. And, I will give my version of the battle cry. And pass my turn.
Joe is going to try to hide behind a tree over here. And what is the difficulty of stealthing in this zone?
No one's paying attention to you. I would say relatively easy. So
Well, it's
I guess they know where. I
the
guess they know
sec.
where you're
Yeah,
coming
the
from.
all that matters is the first number. The second number is based on their natural awareness.
I guess let's do it.
Okay. Uh, that's 4 successes. So if their natural awareness is less than 4, then they don't know I'm here. Does this guy seem to have noticed me?
No,
I'm gonna shoot him.
those
Oh,
roleplay bears do not touch guns.
no, I meant the herald.
Oh, the herald definitely does not.
Okay, and then the 2 shots I shot at the tree earlier, did it like even flinch or like shoot anything out? It just like okay, yeah. If it looked like it was no effect, I'm gonna shoot the herald with my sneak attack. So that's gonna be against poor, so it's a DN2 and no range bonus. I'm going to bump the 1 up to a 2 with my focus point. So that's 5 successes for 6 damage, doubled to 12, ignoring armor against the herald. Try to shoot him right in the mouth.
You shoot him straight in the mouth. Your arrow flies and goes straight in as he's just kind of drooling, right? And
I know the
comes out
feeling.
the other. What?
I know the feeling.
Oh yeah. And like comes out the other side. Upon this happening, there's just a moment of like silence. He just kind of is holding his pen, holding his quill, and then that mouth kind of just like lets out a scream. Like there's a very large like trumpet or bugle coming from this part of the Aquarius, and it just lets out this scream. And then you can very easily hear him say, "Where was that?"
Drops prone behind the bushes and ends their turn.
Well, not prone.
It's prone. No, it's flavor.
It's flavor.
Oh no, their effects that affect you only.
Oh, there's like a prone condition. Then no, I'll kneel behind a bush.
It's Taiwan's turn. Taiwan pops out from 5, he goes to 2, and then he looks at this plague bearer that's bearing down on Krogor, and he just loads his blowpipe again. And then he says, "Hello," as he proceeds to fire his blowpipe into
I
him.
was praying that we would get one.
He all 3 of his shots hit this thing, but it just kind of like turns and looks at him, and then looks back at Grogor and just keeps moving towards Grogor. Taiwan's gonna metal himself to try it again. Taiwan misses, and he looks sad. Labouche.
I actually lied. I did drop prone. Prone is good.
I'm gonna spend my metal to activate instant transmission. And then I'm gonna smack this man.
The tree or the scrivener?
I'm gonna give the fucking the scrivener what for.
Okay. As you instant transmission over to him, he's taken by surprise. He sees you and he's like, "Oh."
I look at him and say, 2 explores, and then I hit him. What's his defense as there?
He's good.
Good. Oh, well, I'm
Wait,
great.
hold on. Yes, he's only good.
Well, I'm great.
Yes. Yes, you are.
So I'll spend 1 to get.
And another one success.
Spend 1 to get 5 successes, and then use my thing to make another damage.
Do you ignore armor? So you're doing 6 damage?
Yes.
Yes.
That extra damage. This is
This, okay. This, where do you cut him?
I'm gonna try to sever the mouth.
Okay, cool. So you bring your flamberge down as he turns to look at you. You get just the perfect shot of this guy's mouth. Or I guess it's like a neck. I don't know, like elongated esophagus. And you are just able to be like, that looks tasty, and you just kind of like bring your sword in, and you just kind of like lop off this big trumpet-like mouth.
Yes, tasty is definitely the talking point.
The weirdest shit happens though when this mouth falls to the ground. The mouth part screams, and like noise keeps coming out of the part you lopped off.
Oh, I wish I had more metal to smack it with.
And then it just says, "Fool, you cannot kill me. I'll just reattach it." As the body starts to like reach down towards it, kind of like picking it up.
I go to reach down and say, "Not if I eat it first."
That's a story for another day. Loris.
I'm gonna slam 4 souls into my chest to heal for 4, and I'm gonna move 1 zone over, and chop house this man.
It's a chop house.
You said he's good?
He's good.
So that is 5, 6 damage. I'm spending 2 focus.
Okay. You're able to like bring your hook in and like come up on his stomach or like his abdomen, and you're able to cut this guy pretty good. When you cut him, he starts like spewing this like pus, this like mucus out of his gut, and this mouth is still talking at you. He's like, "What did I say? I'm beyond death." It's like coughs and kind of first it comes to mind like has this thing cough and its mouth is now unattached to its esophagus, but kind of like coughs and just continues to try and keep fighting.
I'm gonna turn to the Goosh and be like, Goosh, it's almost feeding time. And pass my turn.
Rogor's gonna go and he's gonna kill these guys. I guess it doesn't matter. Oh no.
Wow, that was a bad roll.
Oh no. It's his fall is like a master craft. So he actually is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5. Toughness is currently. Okay, so he manages to kill him. He manages to crush him. Do it again. Close enough. This one comes on over, and he hits on a. Increased by 1 step, so goes. So he's on 5s to hit him. Good. Yeah, 5s with that. Cool. He does 3 damage to him. And I feel harder. Oh wait, no. He does 3 damage to him. 4 damage to him, actually. His natural armor is gone. 4 damage, and now on fortitude. Grogor just takes this attack straight in his gut, and then the plague bearer brings his sword out again, and then tries to go in for his neck as he attacks him again. And he does. He manages to bring the sword up and kind of like get him right under his mouth. Grogor is like kind of not so much coughs up blood because that would be different with the sword coming up like that. But he's looking not good as his scales are slowly flaking off of him. Oh wait, no, yeah, he's fine. He's not poisoned. I mean, I guess he is poisoned, but like, he's not poisoned. The tree. Tommy, what is your defense?
It is good defense with 4 armor.
Okay. You, as you're eyeing up the heralded description, you almost don't see as the tree just kind of like wells up behind you and almost like lurches forward with its toothy maw as it attempts to bite at you. Looking for 4. 3. You have how much armor?
4.
It does just 4 to you, so it just hits. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it does 5 to you. What's your toughness currently at?
4 out of 7 because I rolled before.
Okay. So it does 1 to you.
So I go
So
down
it
to
does
3.
5 damage, goes 1 to you.
I'm gonna yell, Pagoosh, get this thing off me. As it goes to chomp chomp.
It's then going to just launch its roots out from the ground, attacking the goosh.
How dare.
Oh wait, what is your defense?
My defense?
Your defense is good?
Sorry. I didn't mean to, like, I don't...
So my defense is good.
Looking for 5s. 3. It's gonna do 4 damage to you?
What damage it is?
Are you a medium or small creature?
Look at that man.
That is a debatable question.
What's your height and weight?
Small, but
Wait, there are, if you care, there is a table. I think it says like something about like if you're 8 feet or taller or something.
You're not a medium.
Yeah.
He's 12 feet tall and 600 pounds.
Yeah,
I have a
you're
hard
not a
time.
medium creature. Okay, you're fine.
Very good. Tit for tat, if you will.
Yeah, you're not. You're fine. It tries to like when it attacks you with these roots that burst out of the ground. It almost tries to like pull you down, but even the might of this mighty tree cannot possibly move Bagush's weight, and you just stand tall. Boy, this is gonna suck. You start to see a glow come out from it. That's bad. Okay.
bad for us.
Yowie.
New friends.
No.
I believe it may be 6 new friends.
Yep.
Oh no.
It's time for me to cleave some more.
Just fucking die.
It's all good. Living life. Look, if Grover's dying, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just these things. Oh, okay.
Yeah, these its mouth starts to glow, and then suddenly it just like coughs, and then out of its mouth just pops up 6 little nerdlings that just kind of stumble on out, and they just kind of land right in front of you, Bagoop.
Okay, let's go.
And they just kind of like they pop out of the tree and they just kind of fly straight towards you, just like bump into you. And now they just kind of are sitting there in front of you, looking up at this Goliath. And then all together they just kind of point up and they say, "Friend!" As they just kind of like start to stand up and get ready to hug you. Jado, your turn.
Right. Okay.
All of these nerdlings are going to act on the 4
On the
I don't
piercing?
think they're gonna act on the 4.2. I don't think we're ever gonna have the any more nerdlings in this again, but we'll see. Oh, it's round 3 and another Volvo on this tree lights up.
This one bad. There's only 3 of them, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna aim at the. What do we call this big beam? Not the Scrivener.
Scrivener.
Oh, the Scrivener. Okay.
Scrivener.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot at him. And is he great defensively or good when it's ranged?
He is. If shooting at him from range, great.
Nice. Alright. I'm going to use one of these focus points to bring the 5 out to a 6 to reduce his armor class to 3. And then do 4.
Okay.
Well, do 4 damage and then just.
So good.
You shoot at him and you clink off the bits of his armor that are attached to him. When his armor comes off, you can tell this was like basically attached to him and stitched to him. Like a bit of pus comes out and comes out of his like wounds. His armor falls off. This was right about when he was going to reattach his mouth. Ooh, it hurts.
Alright. Let's do it again. Focus in the middle.
It says in the book it's supposed to dial up the force factor of these guys.
I mean, it's. See? It's a big one. Did I roll the same thing? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do the same thing with my one other focus point.
You actually rolled the exact same. Okay. You shoot him, and he drops his quill and kind of like whips his head, mouth bits over and looks in your general direction.
Oh boy.
That was your turn?
That's my turn.
It's his turn. He picks up his quill. But reaches down, picks up that quill. And he like looks over at Loris and he just flick of that quill just starts scribing.
What are you writing? What are you writing?
Furiously.
Your doom! as
Wait, so
both
is this
of,
coming out of the thing on the ground, or does he
Yeah.
pick it up?
as both of the bulbs on the tree just start to glow. And then one beams over at Sturdy Bark the other beams over at Grogor again.
Oh, Krogor's fucked.
It's fine.
Because let's see if he can cast it correctly. Yeah, he cast it.
Oh my god. Oh, jeez.
Okay. Sturdy Bark.
Yes, sir.
You will take 2 damage.
Is it reduced by armor?
It is reduced by armor.
Okay, I will not take damage.
Your armor now is gone.
What?
This beam is reduced by armor, and then your armor just kind of starts rotting.
Bro, my arm. Oh, okay, okay.
This isn't like permanent. This is like
Sure,
as described here. The target loses any of their natural armor, which you have.
Gotcha.
Monkadub.
Until they complete a full rest. So you lose your natural armor until you complete a full rest. Grogor also lost his natural armor, which is why he's fucking dying.
Oh, Krogor.
He takes 2. He takes a wound.
He gets wounds bless.
Not good.
That's not the first wound he's taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe when his throat was destroyed.
He looks terrible. The scrivener kind of like laughs a bit as he proceeds to like steel himself, and he takes his quill, and then he just goes to stab you with his quill, Loris.
Okay.
Your defense is good, right?
Yes.
This guy's no slouch. This guy's no slouch. Oh, he's a slouch. He hits you for. Hold on.
0.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna rule that this doesn't work this way. I'll look this up later. I didn't realize this. Yeah, he hits you with 0. Okay.
I will laugh. And
Sturdy Park, here go.
alright, well I am just blinded by rage. I will. I'm wondering if I'd consider the strategic implication of felling all of these things. Probably not.
All the Earthlings.
Yeah.
He's still restrained, right?
Who's restrained?
The Scrivener.
Oh, the Scrivener is not moving. He's just
Actually,
there.
But
I believe
restraint reduces all like the melee accuracy and all that stuff for defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he's still restrained.
Okay.
I think I would try to help Grogor. So I will attack this thing.
Okay. Its defense is good.
Its defense is good, you say. The thing that you did to me, Frank, I didn't get to roll defense against that, right?
No, that was a spell.
That was a spell. Okay, gotcha. Just making sure, yeah. Okay, so I will,
Magic is really good.
yeah.
It's just hard to get spells down.
You said it's good, right? So my attack's good, the defense is good, so that's a 4. I got 3 successes. Including 1 cleave, which I don't think is gonna matter.
It's fine.
Cool. So that thing's dead. I hadn't moved yet, because I was starting this zone. So I'm gonna move to this zone. I'm going to attack the Scrivener.
Okay.
You said his defense is good or great?
He's restrained, so he goes from a good defense to average.
He's average. Okay, so I get 5.
Because he's restrained, yes.
It's D and 3, right? It goes up. It goes that's easy. It's D and 3, not D
Yes,
and 5.
three.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, right. Oh my god, I rolled awful. 3 ones. Okay, I I will use the focus point to bump this thing up to a 6. You see?
Oh
So-
my god, everyone's gonna die.
Everyone is about to take 2 damage here. All of these little nerdlings are taking 2 damage.
And the tree.
The tree's taking 2 damage, the nerdlings are taking 2 damage, this
You're
guy's
about-
taking 3 damage.
Everyone in range is gonna take 6 damage.
Well, it could have to happen. It's not like we can avoid that.
True. Yeah, I guess it's true.
Maybe they have more than 2 health. No, they do not. Okay.
No, I concluded at this point they got 2 exactly. At least I think so.
They do weird shit. Actually, wait, no, you do 2 damage.
Mm-hmm. I think I might have murdered our entire party, but I'd like to hear from you what happened.
Do they have like a collective health pool?
Maybe they have 3.
They get to do something called swarming when they're in the same zone. You kill 2. And you kill the scrivener.
I killed a scrivener, alright.
Yes. The scrivener falls. With your great sight swing, you just slice through the scrivener. And as you bring your sight through him, he's letting out this mucusy cackle. And you hear him say, "It's too late. We're already in the final stages of the." As he just kind of falls down. Then the 2 other nerdlings scream and explode.
Okay.
Everyone in zone 4 will take 2 damage.
I go to 0.
And then give me a body for 1 for
So when I go to 0, do I take a lump, or when I
No,
take...
No, when you exceed 0. So when you go
Yes.
gangrene.
Okay, I'm at 0. A fortitude, you said?
Yep, body
4.
fortitude 4 1.
Alright, 3 6. I'm good.
Boris.
I clicked entertain by accident. I can't control my mouse. I can't control my mouse.
Bakush, are you okay, man? You have a lot of fortitude, I think.
Bagoosh.
Fortitudinal check. He's very
He looks
good.
alright.
Literally no one gets poisoned. Joe, you're good.
I'm going to stand up and hide. What is the difficulty?
3.
Alright. That's gonna be... If I thinking... I'm going to... spend... Actually, he's probably already got 3, so it's not worth it. Alright, 1 success. I assume he sees me, but... Yeah. And...
Things like suddenly all dark towards zone 5, and then one of them holds up their hand and goes, "Oh!"
And then I guess I'm gonna shoot the tree in one of the glowing bulbousy thingies. What is the tree's defense? Assuming the tree sees me with with my 1 success.
The tree does. The tree's defense is average.
Okay, and I'm good. So it's a 3.
3. Yep, your 1 up is 3.
I already used my metal. Yeah, so just 4 damage.
It's, nothing seems to happen.
Just kind of sticks into it or bounces off of it.
Yep, just kind of like sticks into it.
Okay. I will stay where I am. It's my turn.
The nerdlings go. They perform their circus act, where they do like a cartwheel, they form like a big wheel, and then they just kind of circle around you, Bagoosh, and then they all pop off and then just start trying to bite. No, they're biting you. There's 4 of them.
He's got great defense.
I think the the trailer for their army for the new Warhammer game, they do a really cool job of animating the like them stacking.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I wanted to emphasize with their fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a ball.
So wait, you're what?
I'm great.
Well, they're average.
What's 5 or 6?
They it should be
6.
yes.
Because my on par is 4, 1 up is
Yeah.
5, 2 up is 6.
Now it's 2 of the 6. They just gnaw at it. It's kind of adorable.
It would be less adorable. It would be more adorable if I wasn't dying.
Tiny one comes. Tiny one.
Oh, he's
Hey, one.
Oh no, it's gonna give everyone
Comes
away.
here, and then
He's gonna stop. Well, he's gonna get right
Stay
on.
where you are.
So keep in mind, y'all, we can use Soulfire to regain all our toughness.
Does it work on our boy though?
Armor ups on him, I think.
Nah, I don't care if I die, as long as Taylor lives.
K1's at full health.
yeah, he's not gonna get exploded on. Taewon can't hear you. He's got his earbuds in. He fires.
K1,
Does he hit them?
But Taylor's doing
Yeah,
it.
he hits them.
Oh,
He's
no.
doing it.
Taewon hits them, and he will kill 2 of them.
Wait, Taylor, why aren't you attacking the tree, man?
That's so
2
serious.
damage to everyone in 4.
take another wound. Or another thingy.
Wait, so sorry. Real quick on the wound rules. Is it 1 is a minor wound or 1 to 2 is a minor wound?
1 is a minor, 2 to 4 is 2, and then 5 or more is 3.
Got you. Got you.
Cool.
So I take another 1 wound. So I'm at. Okay.
Yeah, they will
I am
take
at the dosor.
And so keep in mind, it's an action during your turn will allow you to spend a Soulfire to recover all your toughness.
Yes.
What do you want? Bagoosh, what's your status?
I have 1 wound left.
I have 2 wounds left.
Bagoosh, you might want to spend an action on a Soulfire to recover your toughness. I would vote for it, personally.
Wait, what happens if I die?
Well, first you gotta go to... First you gotta be mortally wounded, and we gotta roll about it.
Hold on.
Guys, go to see Taewon load his blow dart with or his blowpipe with more darts.
Attaboy, Taylor.
Frank, was the Scrivener a champion or chosen type enemy?
Yeah, it was a champion.
Okay, I have a strong soul, so I can
recover or something.
or give someone a full wound back.
Oh, that. Yeah.
You see Taewon start to raise
No,
his
Taylor's about to
blowpipe,
take another wound.
and you see him start to aim at the nerve rings.
Kid him, Taylor.
This was a good fight. This wasn't worth it.
Does anyone want to try and stop him?
I'm just gonna yell no.
Facing the other direction. I
I'm
cannot
gonna yell no.
In another zone. Apparently you can use Soulfire to cheat death, which removes a mortal wound and heals them for half their toughness.
I'm yelling no, but it's after the dart has been blown, so it's while it's in the
I
air.
can't even see. I'm looking at the tree.
It goes the last.
Or no, just Alright, well that's
I think we
not...
died.
Does everyone die?
So what happens now is if you've filled up your wound track, blah, 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 if you suffer a wound and do not have enough spaces remaining on the wound track, you become mortally wounded.
Okay.
So you have to go to 5 out of 4. Where does that
Yeah, so if you suffer a wound and do not have enough spaces remaining on the wound track, you become mortally wounded. Fill in any remaining spaces on the wound track, mark the mortally wounded checkbox on your character sheet, you gain the stunned condition. At the beginning of your next turn, you must make a death test.
I'm just at 4 and 4. I'm fine.
You make a death test.
On his turn, when the dude who turns up again.
If he fails the death test, you need to use the Soulfire to save him from dying.
I mean, on my turn, I'm gonna fucking jumper cables him with the thing to take a wound back.
Well, I mean, he'll be dead by the time your turn around comes around.
Taewon looks extremely happy. Like, very proud of himself.
Well, I'm sure he is.
How fun are you, Taewon, now?
Okay, how do I do this thing?
So whenever you start your turn mortally wounded, you must make a death test to see whether you are strong enough to cling to life or if you slip into oblivion. A death test is unique in that there is no specific associate. Oh god, he did it. It's a DN4 test, yeah.
Oh, he's good.
He's good.
But the complexity of the test is determined by the severity of the wound that caused you to become mortally wounded.
It was a serious wound.
That's the part too.
The available spaces on the wound track prior to becoming mortally wounded does not matter. Only the severity of the wound is important.
You said
Yeah.
that, or believe?
You're good with the previous one.
Oh, that's fair. I just realized I can switch things if I remember it correctly.
You are alive.
You are no longer mortally wounded and remove the stun condition. Your toughness remains at 0 and your wound track is still full. So if you take further damage, you become mortally wounded again.
I'm not
Oh, that's
okay with
okay.
this, man.
That's nice. I'm just gonna lie down. Right here.
I actively make myself prone and pass turn.
Loris,
Actually, I lied. I'm gonna move the zone away from the murder tree, and then I'm gonna lie on the floor.
can you move more than one zone away from the murder?
I can move 2 zones away from the
Move
Yeah.
next.
I like that.
I use my metal to instant transmission back to fucking Joe,
I ain't leaving.
Alright.
and then I lie back down on the
You
floor.
should have hit the tree.
Absolutely not. What if it leaks on me?
Loris, your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna.
Valid concern.
So I'm at 3 out of 4 wounds. I'm still at -3 toughness, I believe. I don't think that changed. This right?
I don't think you can go negative toughness. I don't think that's a thing.
What do you mean,
No, I'm not looking for healing. I'm saying, Alex, toughness has to go negative, or else you wouldn't know how many wounds you get. Like, 2 to 4.
I think it's because if you are at 0 toughness and suffer damage, it's dealt as wounds. So there's no such thing as negative toughness. It's just go straight into wounds.
Alright, I'm gonna slam the champion's soul into myself, so I'm 3 out of 4 wounds at 0 toughness, and I'm gonna chop this thing once. What is its
It's out.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna spend the 2, turn that 2 to a 4. So it is 5 damage.
Does restraining affect this thing? No.
I would have a hard time restraining something that is
Your neck gets really
5
big.
by
Come on.
5.
It's magic.
And I pass my turn, and I have like 4 baby souls, I think.
No, you 6 things to stab next to you. You don't have to kill them. As long as they
No,
die.
I know, but I don't. I probably spent some. Let me get
You
it.
spent 4, right?
Chose champion soul.
You spent the champion soul and 4 of the little babies, so there's a lot left actually.
Alright, well, I'll pass my turn because it was like.
These things are all dead, right? That's what those things.
The only thing that's here is the tree.
Good.
Rogor
19.
looks down at Taiwan, pats him on the head, pulls out like this knife that's sticking out of his like
Whoa.
gizzard area, like his neck area. And then he like you see him like look down at Taiwan, and you hear him say, "Fulfill bargain." And then he walks over into zone 4. He reaches under his like armband, and then he pulls out the scale that you brought him initially, and then he hands it to Sturdy Bone. And then he just puts it in your hand, and then he gives you a nod, and then he looks at you, Loris, and he says, Taiwan will get you gold. And then he proceeds to just walk into the tree.
What?
I'm gonna say Taiwan stop him and turn to
Rugor,
Taiwan.
no!
Taiwan's just kind of looking.
Taiwan, stop him!
He looks very, like, sad. And then Grover just kind of walks into the mall. Gonna move him off the board.
Just put on GM layer, yeah.
Do I, get a champion soul off that? Or,
He's not dead yet.
yeah, I would know.
We get to the tree's turn.
One less salvo.
Sturdy Bark, I think we're done, buddy.
I'm sure
I
you
don't even want to
succeed.
live anymore. I just watched my craft break as a
Yeah,
kid.
I'm like hardly standing. I'm like straight back. Yeah.
The tree, you start to see it like pulsate again, like it was before. And then it starts to like lean forward and try and take a bite of you. It seems like it's extremely like sluggish in doing so. And
It's trying to bite me.
yes, it's trying to bite you.
Okay.
It seems extremely sluggish in doing so.
Well,
What is your defense?
my defense is. My defense is great.
Gonna be great, yeah, because
Yeah.
Lord. Yes. What do you want to roll?
It's looking for sixes. It has caution.
Okay. So I took a minor wound.
Oh, you have to do it.
I will have to do a death save. That is correct.
Oh god, it's a 4-1.
On the start of your turn.
So it rolled a 6. There's nothing I could do.
Before we have to do it, we agree that if someone dies, we're gonna use a Soulbound to stop them from dying.
Unless that person specifically wants to die, yeah.
We want to establish that we agree beforehand.
Do they spend? Well, sorry, I'm wondering. Is the action they have to fail the death save and then we spend the soul fire, or they have to say we're spending the soul fire and they don't even make a save?
It's if they fail. It's
If they fail, you
pass.
can double back. Okay, I wasn't sure if you had to say it before.
The tree, you then see it just kind of pulsate again, and then you see Boris, you see under like the earth, like mounds just start coming past you and moving into zone 3 towards K1. As you can see these roots start moving out towards it.
Towards Taiwan?
Oh no.
Not him, Mr. Tree. Not him.
Taiwan takes 2 damage.
Okay, he's alive. He's alive.
And he's currently restrained because he is a small beast.
Oh no.
And then the tree uses its last method. Do it
Motherfucker.
again.
No. Okay, Taylor's fucking dead, guys.
K1 lives.
Are you serious? Wait. I don't want to be that guy, but if he's restrained, his defense is 1 worse.
K1 takes 1 damage. Or 2 damage. K1 gets a wound.
Taiwan is wounded.
How can we let this happen?
I healed him.
Dude,
The tree, after its attack on Taiwan, you hear like this. You all hear like this gurgling noise. And then you all can see this tree just kind of like, not so much like lunge forward, but it almost is trying to like escape where it's currently at. Almost like it's alive and moving, much like sturdy bark is. And then
moving tree, that's ridiculous.
yeah, and then you hear like pounding, just rhythmic pounding. And then you can see like the bark on the side of the tree just break. And you all see like the maw that Procor has just come out of the tree. And then you just keep seeing this maw come in and out as it just pounds at the inside of the tree. And almost like a death cry, the bells that are dangling from the tree, they all just go silent. And it just, the lights on the bulbs, right as the third bulb was about to just illuminate, they all just go out simultaneously. And you can see from the tentacles on top as they just kind of droop down, and the teeth just kind of just haul himself out of the hole that he made in the tree. And then he just hauls himself out and then just falls down.
Get that champion soul.
He's fine.
Yeah,
He's
you
okay.
got a champion soul, by the way.
Is it from the tree or is it from him?
Oh, it's from the tree.
Grover's
Okay,
dead.
okay, he's not dead yet.
What do you mean yet? That man's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna join the Soulbound and live forever.
Also, it's when a chosen or champion type enemy dies. Grover wouldn't be.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Just declare him your enemy before he dies.
What
He is my
what
enemy.
Tay1 did?
It's
No.
okay.
Taewon was actually. Taewon was following orders.
Taewon runs over. We don't need this term. I guess I should also
I'm gonna try to tend to Bagoosh's wounds, seeing how he just like ran into the bushes over here covered in like pus and ooze and blood.
So Taewon comes over to Grogor, and Grogor's just kind of like laying on his back, and he's breathing heavy. And Taewon like comes over, looks at him, and then just kind of like puts his little tiny hand on Grogor's like big claw, and then Grogor says very, very like softly, says, "Take them to the city. Realm engine sailing. Forest clean." And then he just kind of looks over at you, Sturdy Bark and Norris, and he kind of like gives a bit of a toothy grin, and he says, "Hunt pack avenge. Return to lead pack." And slowly you kind of see him start to glow, and he kind of like dissipates. It's very strange. He kind of starts dissipating into what you can only describe as like a faint blue like mist, as he just slowly turns into this mist from his like legs on up, and then with his last breath he just kind of turns to this mist and it floats off and just dissipates into the night sky.
I'm gonna go kneel down and put my hand on Taewon's shoulder, which is actually me healing him for however much damage I think he took.
He looks up at you and he says, and then he points up to the sky and then he says, "Come back."
Oh no.
And he like waves. And then he looks down at the ball that's still here, and he just kind of like goes to try and like pick it up, and he very clearly can't. This thing's like twice the size of him.
How big is Taewon?
He's smaller than he's like 3 feet. He's very small.
Alright, well I'm gonna hold my arm down so he can crawl on me, and I'm gonna bring him over to Sturdy Bark so he can crawl on Sturdy Bark.
I'm just like dead on the floor.
No, you're not dead.
I'm also dying.
But like same.
I'm mortally wounded.
I'm gonna first aid as best I can, people.
Yeah, so
Am I still mortally wounded?
combat is over. You have the opportunity to like treat wounds unmolested by things, but you are still technically in a garden of nerf. Technically.
Do I have to make a death save?
No.
We can say for the sake of it that like it's safe enough for you all to like do first aid, treat your wounds, but this is definitely not a safe spot for you to make a camp.
us out of here.
Just out of here.
Taiwan like walks on over to 5, and then he looks back over at the tree to where like Rover died, and then he like does one final like wave up into the sky, and then he like looks at all of you and says hello, and then he just walks into the jungle.
I'm following Taylor.
I'll say one as well.
He's like limping.
Yeah, I'm not
Let's-
even sure I
You're like
Let's
crumbling
go.
towards it.
I have no action. That's 11. I'm melted.
Pulling out the apothecary skin, getting ready.
Joe's gonna take some of the worst spots on sturdy bark and just like take a little bit of like twine that's like backup bow string, and then just like take the armor pieces that you gave me and just like tie them into place on you.
I was gonna say, when he gave you the scale, why didn't you give him another piece of cardboard?
His hands were full.
Ah, true.
He like put it on me. I was already dead. Sword.
Let's say you guys manage to get like Taiwan is very good at it. This is like what he does. He gets you guys to a safe enough spot in the jungle. It's like a small little clearing, and then he just kind of like looks around, and then he says, "Hello," and then he climbs up into the tree, and then you just kind of see him there for 1 second, and then he just kind of like disappears.
Wait, come back.
After you say that, you like feel something on you, and then you see him reappear, and then he like points up in the tree and says, "Hello," and then he just goes up into the tree and disappears again.
I will strike a pose next to the tree and say, maybe we should rest.
Yeah.
Don't say anything, actually.
Resting, okay, yeah.
I'm gonna, I guess, once triaging everybody, we're helping Laura's triage everyone probably more realistically. I'm gonna just look to see if there's any things in this area that look like they are going to like continue to spread but could be destroyed, or like something that caused it and could be broken.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Guess a tree bagoosh.
Alright,
Yeah.
Goldie. While your party's resting, so what you're saying is while your party's resting, and like everyone's done with triage, everyone's in a better spot, you're going out to like investigate.
Just within the local area. Like, I don't want to be going to. No, fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna investigate. Period.
Okay, you're going to investigate.
Yep.
For the
I'm
sake
sleeping. I'm sleeping at the base of Sturdy Bark.
for the sake of getting to a good endpoint, I'm going to cover the investigation, and then we will like we said, we will say people are triaged efficiently, or if you need to do rolls for it, you may do rolls for it while I explain the investigation.
You remove one of your serious ones. Okay. Everyone else, sorry. That's all I can do. We want this.
So I assume this is only you.
Unless Tewa is also scouting.
No, Taiwan he's your designated lookout.
He's
Okay.
on the trip, because I
Yep.
saw him.
Designated lookout.
Then yeah, just me.
Okay. Joe, as you're walking around, you don't really see much of anything in the clearing you're in. But after wandering a bit, you see something that's very out of place. You see boot prints. Like, distinct boot prints on the ground.
How big are they?
They look like they belong to a large human.
Like my size or taller than me?
Their footprints are larger than yours.
Okay.
like an alternate path from where you came in, but they're leading towards the road you were.
Got
In
it.
fact, if you follow these boot prints, the rest of you can do it. GM that. If you follow these boot prints, you end up here on 1 versus on 5 where you came.
And then they stop, or?
Oh no, they keep going. If you follow these boot prints, you make your way from 1 to 3 to 4 to the base of this now dead tree. You have a very, very eerie feeling about everything that's going on here. It almost feels as if you're being watched by something, but you can't tell what, and you were stealthing your way through, were you not?
Yeah. Is Loris nearby?
I'm sleeping at the base of Sturdy Bark. I am also almost dead.
You are alone.
Okay.
Give me an awareness. I want a awareness 4-2 followed by a 5.
Fail on the awareness. And then, what was the other one?
5. Still awareness.
That I would get, yeah, just 2 successes on.
Can you use any sequence of them, or do they have to be in a row? Like
Nope,
that
they're in a
order?
row. You, as you're walking about this ground, seeing as how you were staying out in the trees out in 5 the entire time, you never really got a good look at this thing. But you notice something very interesting as you're just kind of like pacing around this tree. On the backside of it, kind of like fastened into its bark, you see this metal like sigil just kind of fastened into its bark. And you recognize this sigil.
Is it a squid?
No. You recognize this symbol to be the sigil of the ruling conclave of Antioch.
Can I
All the Dark Elves?
take my hand axe and try to like chip it off there so I can take it with me?
You may.
Okay.
You do it with relative ease.
Is there like a name or initials or anything carved on the back?
You don't see anything carved on the back that would give you any idea who this belongs to, but you do see a name.
Is this like something that like a pin or a brooch that like someone would wear typically?
It's like what the ruling council members banner that they wear.
Got it.
Like designate that they're ruling, like is that they're part of the council. Let me get a picture of what this is. See what
I'm adding figure out whose this is to my short-term goals.
man, all the pictures fucking suck. You see this. Just kind of like carved into the metal sigil on the back.
Okay. Can I poke around in the tree briefly?
You may.
I'm gonna do that. I'll grab a big stick from nearby and like use it to like. I'm trying to find bones. I'm trying to find weapons. I'm trying to find arms and armor. Anything to try to. I'm wondering if somebody got eaten in there and I could potentially find remaining bits to bring back.
It's dank, it's rank, it smells terrible. It's almost like you're inside of a rotting corpse, flesh and all. You poking around here, you don't really see anything. You see a lot of lizard skulls. You see a couple of like what are very clearly human skulls with bones. And then you notice something very out of the ordinary. You notice one of these. Actually, you notice two of these.
Goldie know what that is. Does Joe know what that is?
Joe knows what this is.
Okay.
Joe has seen many a Stormcast wear this around.
You said there's a pair of these?
There's a pair of these.
I'm gonna take both of them with me out of there. I'm gonna wrap them up.
The only other thing of note you see here, based on your awareness checks, is Grogor's maul, which is sticking out of the ground, like shaft up
Mm-hmm.
to the sky, and just this dead tree. Nothing else there.
Okay. Yeah, then the last thing I do is just look to see if these helmets have any identifying marks on them, and otherwise just sort of make sure, give myself a quick breather before we start walking.
Nope. You don't see any identifying marks on these.
Cool.
I think it's a good place to cut it.
Oh yeah?
I mean, I'm just sleeping.
I'm also
Well, I'm not
sleeping.
even sleeping. I guess I'm resting. Like, what am I do so punctuated?
The frontline boys took a lot of damage there. Took a lot.
Yeah.
You guys are taking damage?